Hello there. We're back. Yes, we are. It's my Monday morning. Um, whatever day it is for you, we're always glad to be here. That's something we get to do. And what's incredibly interesting to me is that it just had to find its place, which I seem to have done. So here we are, doing what we do, you know. And when I think of the reality of life and what we do in life and how we find the fire that keeps us strong in life. You know, when we have a motivation, whatever that might be, that causes us to look after ourselves so that we can continue whatever that is that we found that gets us up in the morning. It's incredible. But, you know, what do we do on those days when that doesn't happen? It does occur. And that's where God can step in and actually help you on those days, undergird you, support you, care for you, concern over you. Part of that grace that He gives us is to help us through those days that, you know, most days it's amazing to get up and do that thing that we love doing, but there's those days where we wonder if everything is as it is meant to be. And at those moments, God can give us an assurance, almost like a hug from God that can change your world. Or he can drop something in front of you that shows you that you're on the right path. Wow. A breadcrumb. Wonderful. Maybe we'll talk more about breadcrumbs later. And as he does each of these things, he's doing it because he's caring, concerning, and wishing to be part of your life interactively. Even in those moments where you feel like, it's a beautiful, wonderful day, but there isn't much here for me right now. And then all of a sudden, God gives you a hug, and it's like, okay, I'm good. And that's just the truth. Sometimes we just require a little bit of care, concern from God. Nothing else will do. Yeah. If you haven't done that yet, if you haven't connected to God and just allowed God to care for you, maybe you want to give that a try. An endeavor would be better, but God will take whatever you give and expand it into a place that you can never believe. Honest. That's the way it works. Let's leave that there. We understand that, some people would say, well, yeah, I can understand that. It might be worth it. You never know. Let's move on to how you get a hold of me. It's eric@starthealing.me. That's eric@starthealing.me. One more time, eric@starthealing.me. Yeah, just reach out. I'll send you a link. We'll talk. That one's without charge. Let's move on to that wonderful story we've been telling on Sanctuary. I mean, it's getting interesting in some ways. So many different parts, moving spaces. How do you keep track of it all? Oh, I'm glad I don't have to. That's part of care and concern from God. He makes sure I say the right things at the right time. And if I mess it up, it's all right. We're all human. But I do. really put a lot of space and time into the craft of writing in my mind so that I'm ready for these times. So we left her musing, chewing on a bacon tomato sandwich. I know. Where did this bacon tomato sandwich thing come from? You'd be amazed how a comfort item just kind of slides in, especially around sanctuary. And there's always moments where the miraculous happens, even in sanctuary. There are things that occur that, as long as they're not negative, as long as they're not going to destroy everybody in most ways, uh, uh, then those things may occur just because somebody is really kind of thinking about that. And that's kind of also how sanctuary works for us. It's those comfort items. You know, we're not maybe so much, well, some of us aren't connected to a teddy bear anymore. Um, you'd be amazed what's in some people's bedrooms. So it could be a teddy bear in there. So she's munching on this thing and she's been thinking about all of the things that have happened up to this point, and there's a lot of things. And she decides to go and see her brother from the other universe, even though she doesn't really, well, wish to in one way, but in another, she does. I mean, he really did seem genuinely wishing to just kind of sort this out and quit being the catastrophe it had been for so long. So, so maybe something good can come from this. When he was supposed to be allowed in, so he is. There's a bunch of people dealing with a similar thing, is where he is at. So even though she could blink and be there, that's cool. But she also likes to sometimes use her feet. She also sometimes likes to use that little buggy that she started with. That's what she decides to do. She gets into her little buggy. And a few smile at her, and she's off to where her brother is with those others, and they're working out how to be better. She just enjoys the ride for a while. The desert going by that isn't so deserty anymore. The planet is coming back alive. Things are growing in places where there wasn't any. There's the odd rogue monster that wants to really fight, but none of those are around today. So she just has the desert and her thoughts and everything that had happened around this person. And how God is asking her to kind of deal with that before she gets there. And she does. She looks at all the moments that he really did end up showing up in her life and making a mess out of it. And she lets it go. She releases it to God. So by the time she actually arrives for the visit, just a few hours later, she's let go of everything that she can think of. And she spent some time with that we forgive thing. And she feels much better. Uh, she's actually looking forward to talking with him. She arrives where he is, and he is him. It's only been up about an hour, she could tell. Hasn't quite got itself put together. But he's happy to see her, which is odd, but good. She brought some bacon tomato sandwiches, a bunch actually. Uh, these beings could consume stuff like this sometimes. I've been trying to figure out how to be different, to show up differently, like her brother from another universe. And he sits, and as he munches on a sandwich, he goes, I figured out something. And she goes, what? And he goes, I was looking for something, and that's why I did all the things I did. But I didn't realize I was looking for it. She goes, oh, what were you looking for? He goes, God, I think. I've had some interesting conversations with that being. She chuckled and letting it go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time, he said. But also realizing that, you know, I might get myself sorted out here and I might end up doing a bit of traveling outside of here, kind of being an anonymous fixer of things I broke, not for somebody to find out that I did so. Oh, that's not it. This is something else. Just, you know, things I played with the magic I had, which, I realize it's just the twisted form of creation energy that God is. And to our own purposes, that wasn't good. I don't plan to make myself known. I just plan to go and fix what I broke if I can, if God will allow. And she smiles. She goes, "Man, that's new." Yes, it is. And it's oddly new. And these beings around here are also starting to figure that out. One of them kind of nodded, chewing away on a sandwich. Wasn't sure if that's how they could, but it was working. And he said, he said, thank you for allowing me to be here and not allowing that thing to eat me, which it could have and probably had a right to. And I do realize that I am responsible for those things. Even though I'd like to say, oh, I didn't really mean to do that. But yeah, I probably did. That's just the way it works. She looks at him and she goes, you're growing. Yeah, yeah. Until nobody told me it'd be this hard. I have tendencies that I have to keep in God's hands or I would make a mess out of things in a big hurry. That's how it works, she said. I have my own moments where I could make a big mess, but then I have to ask God, and God shows me a different way. He can do the same for you. Hmm. He goes, this is the best conversation we've ever had. She goes, yeah, it's true. She goes, I'm going to be here for another 30 or 40 minutes and I got to get back to things. Don't know what things, but I know that I need to get back there. I can feel it. Oh, yeah, there's always something going on, isn't there? Uh-huh. Somebody else requiring sanctuary or something ending up in the middle of our city. That happens quite often. Then there's explanations and things. But you're happy here. Yes. I mean, I have Douglas. Yeah. And I have all those people that care and support, and they support, and I support and care for them. We're not perfect. We have our moments with little arguments and things, but we always get past them. Who knows? Maybe while you're out there, maybe some of them will connect with you, and you will be able to seek to be forgiven, and they will forgive you. The other part I like too, because you're not seeking any recognition for what you're doing. You're just fixing things. Yes, yeah. I guess it's a while away yet. I have a lot to figure out here. Help these people figure out their stuff. I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh, that's kind of God's plan, I would imagine. She finished her sandwich and he's, well, I got some things to do. So do I. She was back in her buggy, heading back to the city. Yeah, there'll be things there for her to do. She knows that. But she's smiling, kind of having a little quirky laugh because as the desert is blooming, so is her brother from another universe. Slowly, yes. Understanding it's going to take time, yes. And he's made a mess out of a lot of things. He understands those things. But God is working and he is changing. And she's realizing so is she. Let's leave it there. Let's have a blessing. We come before you, Father, and we ask for your blessing for these amazing people that are listening. Just bless them with what they require this day. Of course, wrapped in joy and peace. Those are beautiful things. Opening doors of hope, even when they don't even understand maybe what hope means. But you showed them, Father. And abundance, of course, and whatever else that brush of yours in your hand wishes to paint for them. According to your will and wish, God, and according to their will and wish, this can be. Let's have a word of prayer. We come before you, Father, Spirit, Son, and sometimes we are reconciled. Sometimes we aren't. Well, the reality is part of sanctuary is reconciliation, coming back together, learning to be different, making amends where you can, and having the wisdom to know the difference between the ones you can fix and the ones you can't. It's important to have those things in our heart in space. It's all orchestrated by you, God. If you move and show us and help us, we can do so many things. And that's just the way that it functions and that it occurs. And Lord, you will help us be exactly what we require to be if we ask. And so let's ask. Let's get the darkness pushed back so that we can see you, connect with you, be with you for a little while. And if we have done that, then let's connect even deeper for a longer time. And if we've done that, then let's carry on that relationship that actually exists fully. and just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. That's what it's all about. We ask for the strength and the courage to do so, and the grace and mercy. And we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude. Standing in awe and honor, respect, allowing all glory to flow to Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. Amen. You be blessed.